All right, welcome back, guys, once again. And today we're going to talk about the CSS and little bit about the HTML. So I'm going to tell you about the CSS property, that how to use the CSS into the project, and if we have multiple elements into the, so how we can use the same CSS into the multiple elements. So that's a kind of simple thing, but I'm going to tell you like how to write the code into the production environment if we are making a project or something. So code should be optimized and all the things. So and also I'm going to talk about some important things that we should include into the CSN and which things we should avoid. Okay, so let's start. So I'm going to create a div over here, div dot box one. Okay, so this is a kind of image abbreviation that I written right now, and it's gonna create a element for us. And I'm going to type another div box child box 2. Okay, so this is a child box. I'm going to create multiple boxes like this for this child, and each will have the same class because I'm going to include the same things inside each and every set element. So that's why everyone will have same class. So let's give some style to this box one. So copy this, Control C. So if you see, I have already created a new .css file, and you can see I have linked this file to this HTML file. So whatever I will type over here, it's gonna be included into this HTML. Okay, so just put something style into this box. So width 10 rem, height 10 rem, and background color red. Background color would be red. Okay, and width 10 rem, height 10 rem, background color would be red, and also give a little bit margin. Okay, so margin would be 1 rem. Okay, so also take this another child element class. So we're gonna give some style to this as well. Control C, and let's try Control V. So we're gonna give some width 1 rem. Okay, let's make it 2 rem. Uh, height would be 2 rem, and background color would be green, and margin would be margin we're gonna give 0.1 rem. Okay, so let's see the response what we are getting right now. Okay, so you can see each and every element is coming in a single line because these are the block type elements, so that's why it's coming in the single line, and also it's taking the full width of the this parent component, so that's why it's a block type element. So also this parent component is also a block type element. So if I show you into the CSS, so it's you will see it's taking the of full width of the window screen. Okay, so you can see the multiple this already margin is included, red things is coming, so that is the margin. So let me make you understand about the CSS box model first. So you can see if this is our element box, so this is our element. So padding gonna be it's your insider spacing, but you given the spacing into the inside of the block element, so that's gonna be padding. And if you are making the space outside of the element, so that is gonna be called margin. And this is your border that you're gonna include, like border width, whatever the width you're gonna be. So right now I've given 0.5 rem, I think. So you can see everywhere is coming 888. Okay, so that's why so body is given 8. And if I hover over this, so you can see one rem I have been used, one rem spacing I have been used for this box one. So you can see everywhere is coming 16 16 16. And if I increase that too, so you can see everywhere is coming 32. So one rem is 16 px. Okay, so you can also implement it if you are working on a project. So you can include the one rem as a 14 px. So it's a kind of trick that you can use and you can implement that thing. Okay. Also, so this is your, and let me show you the padding part as well. If I include padding 1 rem, so you can see the spacing has been increased inside this box. So whatever the content you gonna return, it won't go out of this spacing. It will always have the 1 rem padding, and the content gonna be written inside that 1 rem padding. Okay, so it will not overflow and keep maintain the all the spacing from each and every side. Okay, so that's the thing the margin padding does, and always whenever we are writing the code, we should include this margin padding and border. Apart from going hard code with height and width, we should make the things flexible and on the basis of the content. So whenever you make the responsive template or something, normally people use margin apart from going on the giving the fixed height or fixed width to the component elements, because whenever you will give the fixed width to the element, and if you decrease your size of the decrease the size of your window, so it's gonna be break over there, so UI gonna be break, so you need to keep maintain that thing. And of further notice, so we're gonna be talking about the how we can center these elements and how we can make these elements in a single line. So this is for this CSS Flexbox comes into the picture. So I'm going to tell you about that. So let me show you into the console as well, because I don't need to go into the code for that. So whatever you will type over here, you can also change the CSS from here, and you can see the response at the runtime. So if I'm going to use display text, so there are some more properties into the display key. So if I use display flex property, so you can see every each and every element of child elements is coming into the single line. And if I use flex direction, so there's a flex direction. If I use column again, so every each and every element gonna be aligned into the column part. And normally, if you are using a row, so you don't have to write the flex direction row, because normally it goes into the row flex direction row. Okay, so but if you want to make this thing into the single line, so you can use a column, and also there's a row reverse, like it's gonna reverse the position of the element. Whatever the element is coming at the first point, it's gonna be into the second. Okay, same into the column reverse if you use. So whatever the element is at the first position, it's gonna be into the last position if you reverse the column. Okay, so I'm not going to use the flex direction, but I'm going to use the justify content. So if you see justify content center, so which means like each and every element gonna be into the center of the parent element. Okay. If I use end, so it's gonna be end, flex end, same thing it does. Flex start, same thing it does. Inherit, and these are some other properties. And if you use normally we use center, flex end, flex start, and also these three space around, so it's gonna have the some spacing around the each and every element, space between. So each and every element gonna be have the space between. Okay, so first and last element gonna be aligned with corner of the parent element, and other two elements that exist into the canvas, it's gonna be have the same spacing from the left element and right element and middle element. So space between align all the elements from the corner center. Okay, so things happen. And space evenly, what it does, it have the same spacing between. It make increase the space between what according to your window size, and maintain the same speed between the elements. Okay, from all the sides. So I'm going to use the center, and also if you want to align these elements into the vertically, so you need to use align item. So this is one property, baseline. Baseline means each and every element gonna be aligned with the base. Okay, so there's a baseline in CSS that gonna be aligned with the base, and also center. So if you include center, so you can see these elements are vertically centered right now. If you include end, so it's going to end of the box. Flex and same thing does. Flex star same thing does, and self end. So these are the property stretch. So these are the property that it works. But normally people use center and flex start. Okay, so center property I'm going to use, and center we can use over here. So these are the mostly people use this kind of. So I'm going to copy this code and paste it inside the code. Okay. Uh, for like I don't have to write it again, so that's why. So you can see. So now it's looking like that. I reload the page and it's coming as it is. Okay. Let me show you, like if I don't want to write this code, and I want like this code should be included in other property as well. So what I have to do, I need to include a class. Okay, so let's suppose I created a class center align, And inside the center line, I'm going to use the display flex and display. So let's suppose you have to, there's a redundancy is going on, and you need to include every time this, write it this every time into the different selector. So what you can do, you can just create a class and define these property into the class and include this class into your HTML element. Okay. So you don't have to write the CSS again and again. You just need to include the class over there. Let me copy it first. C. Okay, okay, so you can see this is coming like this. So you can see again it's coming. So let me inspect and show you. So if I click on this, you can see center line is getting read over here, and also the box one is coming over here. So that's the thing we can do. Okay, so there is one more property that I can show you. So I'm going to remove these three child elements from here. Okay, and I'm just going to play with this one element that is into the CSS. So I'm going to play with the position of this element. So let's suppose uh, I need to make this box over here. Okay, at this position, how could I show, like if I will use center align, so this box gonna come over here, but I cannot make this box over here. So for that, what I'm going to use a position. So there's a position property. So instead of the child box, just type position absolute, and you need to use the position relative to the parent box as well. So what position relative does, if you give this position relative, whatever the child's element inside this box gonna be relative to this box one. Okay, so whenever you will give some top, right, bottom, left, so that gonna be included from the parent. You can include this as the x0 and y0. So it's gonna be included from here. Okay, so right now I've given the position absolute to the child element, and also I'm going to give the top 0 and right 0. Okay, so it's gonna be aligned over here. So you can see. And now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to make this top little bit downer. So if I use top minus 10 and right minus 10. Okay, so that's the thing we can do. Okay, and now if I would if I play with this, like if I increase the spacing or decrease, let me show you responsive mode. So if I increase the spacing, let's see. So that box is always aligned at that point. See, it's not breaking. When I'm reducing the size of the screen, it's not breaking from that position because it's relatively aligned at that position. So that's why it's not breaking. So that's how we're gonna use the CSS into this. If we need to align any kind of box to respect the two other box, so we need to use this CS position relative and position absolute thing over here. Okay, so let me type minus 10. Okay, let's see. Oh, it's coming into the center right now. I think something missed into the code. Position relative, position absolute, top minus 10 px. Okay, we need to do the px as well. Okay, so you can see this is coming. So thank you so much here. Thank you for watching. In the next video, I will tell you how to use the animation and how we can give the animation to the boxes and all. Okay, so thank you so much, guys. Bye bye.